guys? Honali's with you here, bringing you Sword Art Online Season 3, Anime Review, Episode 11 and 12. Like I stated in my other videos recently, I apologize for my videos not being on time, but we were in the holidays and stuff, and I was busy with the holidays and work and other things, and my internet was kind of also acting up around that time, so balancing out all three was kind of difficult, but I'm back to my regular routine now, so yay for that. But this episode 11, it continued off the cliffhanger from episode 10, when Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito met that integrity night, and it was Alice, and he goes up to her and he's trying to like talk to her and stuff, and he ends up getting too close to her, and she ends up slapping him. And Alice ends up slapping Yu-Gi-Oh with her blade, and she threatens him. She's like, if you get near me again without my permission, you're gonna lose more than you're gonna have more than like a red cheek, stuff like that. She was saying, basically she was threatening him, paraphrasing, but she basically tells them for their crime of killing nobles, that they are going to be integrated into the Knights society and stuff like that, and she ends up, putting them in that chain thing that she had on her when the Dragon Knight took her. So they were locked up pretty well and couldn't really move. And we see both their pages come to them. The girl with the red hair and the other one with the black hair. Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito's page. They went up to her and they asked her permission to talk to them. And she gave them 1 minute. At least, that was nice. And they both went to their respective teachers and they were crying. They were saying, sorry, we got you into this and blah, blah, blah. Etc. And they were like, it's okay, everything's going to be great. We're going to be fine. Don't worry. We'll be back eventually. And they gave them their swords. Unfortunately, they're prisoners. They can't have their swords. So Alice, the Integrity Knight, ended up confiscating them. And then they flew off to the jail cell. And while they were there, Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh are both locked up in the cell. And they were thinking of a way to escape after they'd been there for like 3 days, or 2, I believe. And Kirito came up with the idea, since we can't break these cuffs because of their durability level, but maybe we can use them to break out. And Yu-Gi-Oh was like, how are we going to do that? And Kirito came up with this really brilliant plan, which of course will work in a game system like this. It probably won't work in the real world, but basically what they did was they got both their chains and they had kind of like wrapped them up like they were going to play hopscotch, and they just kept on banging the chains against each other. And since the chains both got the same durability level, they were actually doing damage to each other. And after a couple of good hits, they broke off the wall. And then after that, they still had the cuffs on them with a chain, but it wasn't chained to the wall, and it wasn't as long as it was before, so all they did was just roll it up their hands, and they made it into like a gauntlet, kind of, almost. That's how they had it rolled up. And then they just had to kick down the cell and leave, but Kirito spoke to Yu-Gi-Oh, and he told him, we do this, we're gonna be wanted. Is this okay with you? Alice is right here. And he was like, I'll do whatever needs to be done, because apparently it seems like anyone who gets integrated by the Tengu Knights actually ends up forgetting who they are and becoming one. Which, after they break out of jail, we see another example besides Alice. We see her apprentice. Now, I don't remember his name, but she basically told her apprentice to be in a specific spot that she think Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh will be at if they escape and they may have to pass by. And her prediction can end up coming out right, because that's exactly what happened when Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito escaped. That's exactly what happened. They had to pass by that one garden to get out, and he was there waiting for them. And they fought, and he says, since they don't have swords and he just has chains, I'm going to use this. And he ended up using like some type of weapon. But the whip wasn't an ordinary whip, and it was able to like transform into like this weird snake thing and bite and latch on to people and like shoot venom and stuff like that. But even though Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh struggled, they were actually able to put up a decent fight. And then they bring up a past of him. And this is one thing that's very interesting, because when they bring up his past, he started to remember his past. And his body started to like freak out and like almost malfunction, I guess you can say. And out of his forehead, a purple jewel came out, looking like a memory card almost, like a UMB. And he started like to freeze and started to cry, thinking about his past. Then another Integrity Knight ended up showing up, who's an archer on his dragon, started like shooting heavy arrows at them. So they had no choice but to run away, because they have no weapons to fight a long-distance character like that. And when they're running away, this is when we get to episode 12, and somebody helps them. And as you see, she's in the thumbnail of this video, the little girl with the glasses, who looks like a mage. We found out she's a bookkeeper, and she's actually a monastery there, you know. No, not a monastery, but she's I forget what you call it when you're like the head of a computer corporation, but basically she was there to, you know, oversee the laws of the land and people and stuff like that. And she told Yu-Gi-Oh to go take a shower because he's cold and wet, mother running around and stuff. And she talks to Kirito one-on-one. And at this part, we're already in episode 11 and episode 12. And she starts to talk to Kirito about the chick that Kirito hears a couple of times in his head, and who she is. We find out that, if you remember a couple episodes back, the first couple humans that were in this were real humans who transferred their Fitchlight over here. But they had kids over here with other Fitchlights that were the clone. Well, her dad was one of the original humans that were here, and he was like a king, and he was one who set up the royal system. And we found out that his daughter, who is also the same chick that's happened to Kirito, is, we basically get her backstory, and we found out that she was not a nice person at all. Just like her father, she wanted dominance, she wanted power, she was greedy. There was this one part where every night she would go out to kill foxes just to level up. That's why later on, they made a law, the taboo index, which was created by her, not to kill animals. She's afraid of anyone trying to level up to surpass her or equal her. She doesn't want that. So, and we also see that when she was getting real old and dying, because they do die here, she had to find a way to break the rules. And since this is a virtual world and she does the Fetchlight, she actually hacked into, I guess you could say, like the main system, and she controlled it. Now she is technically the main system, I guess you can say. And she was able to rejuvenate herself back to her youthfulness, back to how she used to look when she was young, and she feels stronger and better, and she's still now more in control than ever. So, the girl that we see with the long, purple hair or blue hair, and the top of the tower, she's technically now the, I guess you could say, the main protagonist. Which is weird because it's a female. We never had a female protagonist before in Sword Art Online, so I would like to see how Kirito handles this. And at the same time, on this note, in the human world, we did get to see Asaya and the professors talk a little bit about Fetchlights and sister programs and robots. And we had this one very interesting scene a lot of people are not talking about. But there was this scene where the professor and Asuna are going to the cafeteria to get lunch together, and these two scientists pass by them, one with black hair and one with blonde hair. Now, we don't get to see their faces, but there was like this imminent scene where they passed by each other, and the scene felt weird because it felt like they were passing by something evil. So I'm assuming these two scientists that work there are probably bad guys. I wouldn't be surprised if the one with the blonde hair was actually the one that they used his Fletchlight to make that first couple of humans, because, you know, they just state some of them were bad. So maybe he was bad and he's trying to fix this, or maybe he still is bad and he's trying to control the system for his own purposes. You know, the purpose of the system is to create soldiers. that would listen to the perfect law of the human world so the humans can use them instead of using regular humans. That's the point of this project. Even though all these fake people are coming from real people, sadly. So maybe this guy with blonde hair has an opposite agenda. And the guy that's with them probably has an opposite agenda too. That I was thinking, or maybe that's Hamburg and Zipperg's original people. You know, the guy that Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh fought. They're trying to rape their pages. Maybe these two guys are the grown-up version of them in the real world. Maybe they're the ones that their fetchlight came from originally. And if that's the case, we know they're bad news. Because we've seen their fetchlight version, so imagine the real ones. But, yeah, that's all I have to say on this note. Episode 11 and 12 were very good, Sword Art Online Season 3. I think it's Avenant Scale. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I don't really pronounce the third part of the season's name because I've always had trouble pronouncing it. But yeah, this was a pretty two good episodes. Again, I want to apologize for this being out late. Like I said, I had, it was December and I just had a lot of work to catch up on and family vacations and stuff like that and the holidays. So all that being mixed in and my internet was acting up, I wasn't really able to do as much videos. I think in December I only put up one video, and it was a Dr. Stone manga review, and that was like 2-3 weeks ago. Then yesterday I put Goblin Slayer episode 11 and 12 up, and I also put up Fairy Tail episodes. But I'm gonna be back on my regular routine recording and stuff for y'all, and hopefully you'll like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, link will be down below. Tell me your thoughts and comments about these 2 episodes and what you're hoping for them and what you was expecting and what you're hoping for the next episodes. And I catch you in the next one. Peace.